Hey everyone, Chris Gonzalez here with the Movement Training Company, and today we're going to take a look at the Supersocks, which are, quote, the world's first indestructible sock that performs better than any activewear shoe. So think of it as a glove for your feet. So unboxing, or unbagging as it were. And here's what it comes with. Super simple. I ordered these not because I think they're necessarily going to be amazing, to be honest, but because they did pique my curiosity. One of the biggest things I'm concerned about is the one-size-fits-all nature, but we'll see. The other thing is it says it's puncture-proof, and we're going to put that to the test. So here they are. They have nice grips on the bottom. They're definitely going to get you noticed. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, that's up to you. So yeah, these are kind of like grips like you'd have on the bottom of hospital socks. And they say this is some sort of special, really strong material. It kind of just feels like a sock to me, but we'll find out how strong it really is. So I'll come around and I'll try these on. All right, so they're clearly a left and right foot. That's pretty easy to figure out. And we'll see how these fit. So I'm a size 10.5 US, 44 European. Going on, they're definitely a little snug. If you've ever put on toe socks before, you know they're kind of annoying to do. So I'll probably just skip some of this until they're actually on my feet. All right, once it's on, it actually doesn't feel too bad. Let's see. Okay, right out of the gate, I definitely feel that. They say it's puncture proof. I immediately feel this blade. Yeah, I'm barely touching it and I feel the blade, so that's not cool. On their video, they do a great test of doing this, which maybe it won't get cut, but you definitely will get punctured if just barely poking it with this feels it. Let's try this. Yeah, you feel the sharpness, not just the pressure, but you're not going to step on a screwdriver, hopefully, or a razor blade. A screw, however, yep, right out of the gate, you feel it. And pine needles. Okay, you don't necessarily feel the pine needles poking you. Nope, there they are. Yeah, so this feels just like if you stepped on a pine needle through a regular sock. So that's a big strike in my book. That was one of the things that was most intriguing to me, because when you are barefoot, you can step on stuff, and that's annoying. So yeah, not a strong case for the puncture-proof nature of it. Yeah, you feel it less than your skin, but you still feel a definite poke, not just the pressure pushing up against. So not looking good so far, but I'm going to take them outside, test them out, and I'll let you know what I think. All right, we're going to give this a test on actual grass now. So comparing barefoot to super sock. Now I do a lot of stuff barefoot already, so this stuff doesn't really bother me. But there is a definite noticeable difference between the sock and barefoot. A lot of little pokes of the pine needles you don't notice, despite in my table setting, when I just sat there and jabbed myself with a pine needle, you do notice it, of course. But in actual walking around, it's actually not too bad. So that's barefoot compared to the sock. Now here, when I'm stepping on a really dried stem sticking up, you still do feel it poking. Maybe what they mean by puncture proof is it's not going to ruin the sock, but it's still going to poke your foot and be uncomfortable if you're not used to being barefoot. So I don't know. This will provide, I guess, some protection or mitigation, but it's definitely not going to be like a regular shoe. So granite gravel certainly feels a lot better with the sock. But after this, I'm going to test out just a regular old sock and see how that goes. Yeah, you still feel some of the sharp points of the gravel, but if you're wearing these, you probably want some of that barefoot experience anyway. All right, now we have super sock versus super old Adidas cotton sock. Oh, that actually hurt. Yeah, super sock side stepped on something and it was genuinely uncomfortable, and I'm used to being barefoot. Probably a pine cone. So super sock is slightly better than this cotton sock, but I wouldn't say significantly, and that could honestly be more about the rubber grip on the bottom than the actual sock itself. So far, really not impressed with these socks. They say water resistant. I was curious what they meant by that. I think, again, that just means, yeah, you're not going to ruin your sock if you get it wet, but moisture definitely is coming through in that sock. I will say less so than the cotton sock, but still just that 2 seconds in the snow, my foot's actually wet. So no real protection there. Again, that could be a positive because then your feet can probably breathe a little better than if it were actually waterproof. But overall, I'm not enthused. All right, so after the tests you saw and also some that I did on my own, just kind of running around the backyard, overall, I'd say I'm not enthused with the Super Sock. I don't think it's that super after all. I'm not enthused, but I'm also really not that surprised. For 20 bucks, shipped from a company no one's really heard of from China, and it takes about 2 weeks to get from you, well, you kind of get what you might expect. So a couple other things to note. I'm not sure if you can tell on camera, but here's the stitching. Every single toe has a long thread coming out, and while I don't know much about stitching, I can't imagine that lasting very long. Same thing up top, just seems pretty loose and kind of shoddy. Other thing is they're one size fits all. Well, the seam of the heel ends right here, and so does the rubber for me, and I'm a 10.5 US. So I imagine if I wore these much, this would wear out pretty quickly. The toes ended up being kind of nice once they stretched out and I broke them in a little bit. But again, at the end of the day, I love the idea, but the execution just isn't there for me. If I were to wear these on a hike, which I probably wouldn't, if I'm going to hit the trails and wear something like this, I'd just as soon go barefoot because these are giving you pretty minimal protection. Again, there's a little bit of abrasion protection, like from some pine needles, but even then I found some that still straight up poked me the same as it would barefoot. So better just strengthen your feet and do completely barefoot than mess with these. Other thing is washing. It doesn't have any instructions. I have no idea what you do with that. I assume you would just wash them as regular, but yeah. So I'm probably going to test out their easy return policy, see how that goes. If I do decide to keep them, it'll pretty much be only for kind of cold days when I want to play outside with my son and don't feel like putting on actual shoes. But putting on toe socks is pretty much just as much effort as putting on my minimalist shoes, so I probably won't keep these. So those are my thoughts on the Super Socks. Again, this is just the initial unboxing and the tests. I was actually going to do a walk-on glass test to test their claim that it's puncture proof, but after the initial test, I'm definitely not going to be doing that. Anyway, haven't put any major miles on these. Don't plan to put any major miles on these. These are my thoughts so far. If you have these and you like them or you don't like them, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your experience. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't buy these again, and I'm probably going to try to return them. So thanks for watching. If you want to learn more about transitioning to barefoot living and minimalist shoes, then feel free to head over to movementtraining.co/feet. You can learn about my functional feet program there. And also subscribe here on YouTube because I'm going to be reviewing a lot more reputable shoe companies. I have a ton of Zero shoes, ton of Vivos in the garage. I love most of them. Some of them don't quite deliver for one reason or another. So go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more about shoes and minimal footwear. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.